Billy got it bumping.
Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Put a dude in this place, he out cold. With a tombstone, grapple the waist, get laid flat. Can't escape, nowhere to go, the cage match. It's on now, when I spot him, it's no problem. Everybody stone cold till they hit with the rock bottom. Sharpshooter, I won't miss him like Bret Hart. Like Al Snow, they gon' need him a head start. I just might catch a better body than Mickey James. Get acquainted with the name, we bringin' the pain. Like Kane in the ring, all I see is red. Paul era, Undertaker, I can see the dead. John Cena putting hands in your face. 10 DBS, keep a milli on the waist. B2TF, better stay in your place or get smacked down, play it safe. What you talking about?
Welcome to another episode of Boot to the Face, powered by FullPressCoverage.com. Go there for all your sporting wants and needs. Unless you're a Cowboys fan, and you probably don't want to hear shit they got to say over there. Or any of the other 5 teams that lost. I'm sure they are struggling just as much as Dallas is. Probably not. Dallas was a heavy favorite to get a lot further. But go to FullPressCoverage.com where they'll talk about the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. Hockey's in full swing. The NBA is going hard. People are declaring for the NFL draft. The whole nine. What else is going on in the world of sports?
Did you say hockey already, I guess?
Yeah.
There's baseball around the corner, maybe.
Yeah, pitchers and catchers report pretty soon.
That's a joke in what you just said, but
no, they really do. They report in like April, right? Some shit like that.
I think so. I don't know. I know spring training was in February.
Yeah, there you go. And then pitchers and catchers report for spring training. Somebody said, who y'all cheering for the rest of the year now that the Cowboys are out of the playoffs? And I said, fucking Jey Uso and Becky Lynch. It's Royal Rumble season. I don't do football anymore. Football season's over for me. Came to an abrupt halt this past Sunday. Shout out to Marty and his Green Bay Packers, those fucking assholes.
That's funny. Jey Uso and Becky.
I'll be disappointed again. Anytime Becky says, I need to win the Royal Rumble, or I've never won Money in the Bank, or anytime she says she's never done something or she needs to do it, she never does.
She ain't winning. I mean, she still ain't handle her Nia Jax problem. How's she gonna?
She don't want that problem no more. No. she just woke up from the last time.
Hey, whether she wants it or not, she got to get that work.
Nah, I put them flip flops on her ass. Becky don't want that shit no more.
Yeah,
she said, "Fuck Nia, I'm going to Rhea."
Yeah, I'm gonna say she just completely ignored, just getting washed by Nia.
How'd you feel with that promo, Rhea and Becky? Is that something you want to see?
Yeah, I thought they kind of hopped into it kind of quickly. I thought that's probably what would be trending towards WrestleMania, but feels like they didn't wrap up what was ever going on with her and Nia.
I mean, Rhea told her, I'll see you at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, spoiler alert, I guess. Unless they try to swerve us and go a different direction.
I'm young. I'm old enough to remember Tony Romo telling Tom Brady, I'll see you in February, and shit never happened. So
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Why would she say that unless it's going to happen? I mean, unless they're telegraphing that SmackDown winner is going to win the Royal Rumble.
I have something random I want to talk about real quick. Let's put a pin in the Becky and Rhea. You ever watch The Big Bang Theory?
Not a fan of that show, but I've seen episodes.
Not Howard, Leonard, the fucking dork from wasn't he on Roseanne?
I have no clue.
Anyway, the dork with the glasses ends up marrying Penny.
Yeah.
He's on here right now, and he's got some supermodel like Indian chick. They're walking around in bathrobes together. There ain't no world where that motherfucker gets Penny, and before he gets Penny, he gets this fucking beautiful ass woman. I'm sorry. There's no world for that. Because he didn't have money. Now, if he was rich, I could see it. But he had a roommate who's a fucking dork. And it's not like he was rich. So how's this happen, EJ?
Maybe he's got the Riz, man.
He didn't though. I watched the show. He's a fucking dork.
Hey, what did they say? Isn't nerd the new cool?
This was way before that shit happened. Maybe this was the catalyst.
Yeah, that was probably a turning point. That show was popular what early 2010s, and
Yeah.
it just now ended, like maybe a year or two ago.
I'll tell you a funny thing about this show. So I would watch it randomly by accident, and for some reason I got it confused with Third Rock from the Sun. You know what that show is?
Those are two completely different shows.
Hey, hear me out. So sometimes the TV is just on and you're just kind of like you're not watching it, but you're watching it, right? Like you're doing other shit, but you'll hear like the laugh track and you'll hear the jokes.
Yeah,
So by me confusing it with Third Rock from the Sun, I thought all the fucking nerds were aliens for the longest time until I actually watched the fucking show. Mind blown.
I mean they talk like it.
Exactly.
So I mean that's still a big confusion. It's like they don't even have like the same type of like. It's like a '90s show, like the same type of visuals, you know? Like
I've never seen Third Rock from the Sun. I just knew it was about aliens. So when I watched this, I thought this was Third Rock from the Sun. Like I would never see that it said what the fuck is the name of the show now? I'm losing it.
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. Yeah, Big Bang Theory, Third Rock from the Sun. Come on.
That's
It's
a
all
stretch, man.
astrological.
It's a stretch.
That's not a stretch. Big Bang. What was the Big Bang Theory? It happened out in fucking space. What's Third Rock from the Sun? Earth.
I don't know. I can see if you were like Star Trek and Star Wars. I used to get those mixed up. But Third Rock from the Sun and Big Bang Theory. I mean,
Whatever.
I guess.
Again, I never watched Third Rock from the Sun. I just assumed Big Bang Theory is Third Rock from the Sun and these guys are aliens. So when I'd be like half-ass watching it, I just assumed that all the smart little nerds were aliens and the chicks they were dealing with didn't know they were aliens. Like I made this whole storyline up in my head until I actually sat down and watched the fucking show.
I don't know if I give you a pass for that one. Especially, I can see if you were like a kid. You were an
I don't need
adult
a
when this
pass.
happened.
I'm just telling you what happened.
And I'm telling you, it's unacceptable.
I'm telling you, I fucking like how my head was up my ass when I was watching this. Again, it just be on in the background. I wasn't like paying attention to it, so that's probably why.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
I
kind of
guess.
how I started watching The Walking Dead and Arrow. Was just like Arrow would come on after SmackDown, and it kind of just I DVR SmackDown, and you go 15 minutes past, and Arrow would just pick up as soon as SmackDown went off, and be like, "Oh shit, what the fuck's going on?" And I would watch like 15 minutes of Arrow, never seeing the rest of the show until I finally started watching it. The same with what other show did I just name? The Walking Dead. I can't remember how I started watching The Walking Dead. It just be on, and I'd be like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck is going on?" And then finally one day I sat down and actually watch it.
I can't imagine you accidentally stumble into Walking Dead. That means that the channel has to be on AMC randomly. That's not like a random channel, really.
No, you
AMC.
flipping through, you like looking for shit, and
Uh,
you see somebody like shoot a zombie in your head, you're like, what the fuck is this? And then you kind of watch it till the commercial break, and then you keep on going looking for something else. I did that a few times before I actually started watching Walking Dead.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I accidentally like channel surfed and got interested in the show. Nowadays, it's usually just ads or
Yeah.
it just comes across the scrolling screen on like a Amazon Prime or a Netflix or Max, and like, oh, let me click on that. But yeah, I can't remember the last time I channel surfed.
I mean, you got to think it was 15 years ago, though.
Yeah, Walking Dead was a while ago. Yeah, my friend, he was big into Walking Dead and Breaking Bad, and he showed me like the first two episodes of both of them, and I didn't get into Walking Dead. I'm like, I guess this is cool. And even with Breaking Bad, like when he first showed me it, I didn't really start watching it till like 2 years later.
I tried to watch Breaking Bad, and everybody said, "Oh, you just got to get to season 2. Get to season 2 before it gets good." Like, it's fucking 16 episodes in season 1.
I thought it was even season one was good. It was a really good show.
I wasn't feeling it. I watched probably 3 or 4 episodes, and I was just like, eh.
I think it's halfway through season one. I wouldn't say you have to go all the way to season two. If you got time, maybe you could go back and revisit it.
I don't have time. I'm in the process of like I got so much going on TV wise. Like, um, me and my girlfriend are watching Suits right now. We're in like I think we're in the last season or maybe the second to last season. And then we're also doing. I told you last week we're doing the Marvel Cinematic Universe, going through that. And while I was looking for the last movie, the last time we got ready to watch one, I saw Jessica Jones on there, and I was like, "Shit, I like Jessica Jones." Like the first season of that, and I was like, "I wonder if Luke Cage is on here too." So now I got all that shit in the queue. And then today I didn't go to work, so got a bunch of shit done around the house. Went to the gym, and then I watched Bad Boys 3.
Oh yeah,
And I was
was that the
telling,
first time you saw it?
no, I've seen it one other time in the movies, and then I bought the Blu-ray and I never watched it. So it was kind of like seeing it for the first time. It's been so many years. So then I was telling my girlfriend, I was like, we need to watch Bad Boys 3 together. And I was like, but if we do that, we got to watch Bad Boys 2. And if we're gonna watch 2, then we might as well start from the fucking beginning, right? Like,
Yeah.
and yesterday, MLK Day, I watched the latest Transformers, and they offered the guy to be in G.I. Joe. So now I got the G.I. Joe movies in the queue. I know this one's the latest Transformer came out after G.I. Joe, but I thought I can't remember if G.I. Joe movies were good or not. So now I got those queued up to watch. So I got like a lot of shit I gotta watch.
Yeah, I know they had two GI Joe movies. That last Transformer movie was it like Beast Wars? I know it was like Rise of
Yeah,
the Beast, but
Rise of the Beast.
was it like the Beast Wars cartoon?
I never watched Beast Wars cartoon,
Okay.
but the Transformers were like an ape and a rhinoceros and all this shit. They were protecting this fucking thing that these other people were coming to get anyway. And then that led into me queuing up G.I. Joe stuff. And then today, like right before we came on here, I started watching this show Found. Have you ever seen previews for that? Mark Paul Gosselaar's in it. I don't know the two lead women that are in it. Like the lead woman's this black chick, and she's fucking beautiful. Like, just can't stop looking at her. You ever seen people like that? You're just like, you're supposed to be like, she's being real dramatic and like looking for people. And you're just looking at her like, damn, she's fucking pretty. Not like in a perverted way, but you just like you can't stop looking at her. And then there's another Hispanic chick that's on there with her. That's she ain't beautiful. She's hot. There's a difference. But this is a really good show too. I've only seen the first episode, but I think I'm gonna like that.
Yeah, I think
So
Rich from CNR was talking about that Found show. So I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out. I got a lot in my queue that I still gotta watch, like that new Marvel show Echo. They just
yeah,
released
that's
all
one.
the episodes all together, which they really don't do. So I got to catch up with that. There's a few other shows I got to catch up with.
I'm all caught up with Reacher, so that sucks. I gotta wait till Thursday before the finale comes out. It just left a big cliffhanger the other day.
Yeah, that's one show that's on my radar. Thad from Blue Mountain State.
Yeah, that Castle. And
Who
then
would have thought?
he was in the last Fast and Furious movie too.
I didn't see the last fashion. I didn't see like the
One
past three ones. They all in the same.
one with Jason Momoa. It was decent.
Um, yeah, like I said, I got a lot in my queue, and I probably won't catch up for a while.
Probably won't ever catch up. You'll probably die with something in your queue.
Yeah,
That's what I,
exactly.
because it's like you just keep pushing. It feels like a job almost. Like I gotta watch this, I gotta watch this, I gotta watch wrestling. And then, up until Sunday it was football season, and then you keep up with basketball playoffs, and then you gotta have a personal life, and then I got kids. Like it's just not enough fucking time. It's like work gets in the way of all the shit that I want to
I think it's mainly wrestling getting in the way. Every time, like I'm time we're going to show, like I gotta catch up. It's a show every day of the week in wrestling. Every time I watch like a TV show, so I'm like, I gotta catch up on this wrestling just to make sure I'm in the know.
Well, let's get into some wrestling, EJ. Back to what we were talking about. Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley finally came face to face, and I dug it. The crowd wasn't the best at Monday Night Raw, but I felt like they were into that segment. Um, I do like, I think Becky's really good on the mic, but I think sometimes she like loses her way. And I don't know if she just gets bored or what. She just starts trying shit. I like this version a little bit better where she just like to the point. Like, I think you might be better than me, but I need to win the fucking Royal Rumble. And at WrestleMania, we're going to find out. And then I love the little line of like, yeah, we both won the Royal Rumble, but only one of us went to the main event. I
Yeah,
did like that.
that's
Which,
sneak this.
uh, which leads me to a thought, EJ, and I'm going to run this by you. There's only 2 main events for WrestleMania. Roman's got one of them, whoever he's fighting. Is there a match out there? I shouldn't say that. Seth and Punk are pretty much guaranteed to happen, right?
Yep.
Is Seth and Punk the main event over a really good Becky versus Rhea feud that they're technically starting right now? Like, if they start this story now and go all the way through, what closes the show? Becky and Rhea or Punk and Rollins? And I asked because you said last week, you said Punk came back for the main event. And then I look at Rhea last year, won the Royal Rumble, did main event. Are you going to shaft Rhea? Literally the biggest, if not the second, either the second or the biggest star in your women's division. And you're putting her in there against whoever's 1 or 2 also. And you're going to not put them in the main event for old Philip?
Man, I think at this point it's a coin flip. But I think Seth and Rollins will probably get the edge over Rhea and Becky. I think whoever does the main event is going to open the show. I mean, it's only 2 spots the main event. And like you said, Roman's going to get it. Is it fair? That I can't answer. But I got a feeling that Punk is going to get it. And this is, I guess, a consolation prize. But Rhea, she'll probably end up main event in Perth, right?
If Roman's not there. But here's also, like, you say that, but who would she main event it against?
I'll throw Ivy now back in there.
In the main event of a PLE with 60,000 people there?
Well, sure, why not?
Unless they're going to make her defend the title in the Elimination Chamber.
Yep, there you go. Or the Elimination Chamber might be for number 1 contendership. However they do it, I don't know how they will do it. But what Nia Jax have her? Didn't she still have beef with Nia?
That's not a main event though. Big time pay-per-view.
It ain't a big time pay-per-view.
It is though. There's going to be 60,000 people there.
Yeah, but is it a big 4 though?
Is TLC a big 4? Not TLC. Money in the Bank.
People tried to make it and elevate it and say it's a big 5, but I think War Games, Survivor Series is solidified the spot.
I think Survivor Series is below Money in the Bank.
I think I give Survivor Series the edge. But what is it? Elimination Chamber. Also, it's going to be at 8 in the morning. You don't have to have like a box office main event.
You do, because 60,000 people are going to pay good money to go see it. It won't be 8 in the morning where they are.
They're going to pay regardless.
That's bad business, EJ.
Why? How's that bad business?
Because those people are paying all that money to go see. You're just going to throw Nia Jax up there in the main event?
Yeah.
No. What do you mean, yeah?
She got heat. Throw her in there.
Nah, you can't put Nia Jax in there.
The only other name is Becky.
Exactly, and that's happening at Russ. That's why I'm asking. I'm saying everybody's just putting Rhea in the main event because it's in Australia. Like, since when do you just get the main event because the fucking show's at your house?
They do it every now and then. Bad Bunny, Sami Zayn.
Was Bad Bunny in the main event?
Yeah, Backlash, wasn't it? Or was that Cody? I think that was Cody and Lesnar for some reason. I don't know why he did that.
Bad Bunny did main event.
But Sammy did.
Yeah, but it was a world title match.
So Rhea has a world title.
And it made sense for Sammy to get that world title match then. Roman had just turned on him.
Hey, man. I don't make the rules. So So, what do you value more? Name like status and what kind of juice you got, or your actual wrestling ability
To be what in the main event?
in this particular main event?
The story.
All right, because didn't her not have a story then?
That's not a main event story though.
And now you just being picky now.
No, I'm not. I'm saying you give me a main event story. It's like going back to Rhea and Becky at WrestleMania. If Rhea and Becky have a better story than Punk and Rollins, most of Punk and Rollins shit isn't even on WWE TV. It's stuff that they talked about when Punk was in AEW and after he left. Like, that's not a story. That's internet dirt sheet shit. You don't main event WrestleMania because of internet dirt sheet shit. Also, I think if it's Rhea and Becky, I think they're the main event because what better way to open up WrestleMania than the first music you hear be fucking In Living Color singing Cult of Personality?
That ain't a good reason for why they shouldn't be in the main event.
That's a good reason why they should open it up, though. Get the crowd fucking juiced, have a great match, and then have all that filler, not filler, it's WrestleMania, but all the other shit in between, try to follow them get the shit started off right.
I don't know if I agree with that. And
You can't have you
Go
can't
ahead.
have a shitty theme song be the first one you hear at WrestleMania. You gotta have a bang. You gotta have somebody that's gonna get a reaction, like Randy Orton or fucking Becky or somebody like that.
Yeah,
You can't have anybody.
first
So
music,
Punk,
first music you had at WrestleMania. Oh, everybody get hyped.
they've used that a lot. They've used her even when she was champion. They would have her come out first.
Yeah, I'll get the WrestleMania crowd Philly hype. Um, I don't care. A story's a story. I don't care if it was based on dirt sheet. What story does Becky and Rhea really have?
That's what I'm saying, EJ. If they build the story, which they
Okay.
started this week, if they build that story to be better than the Punk and Rollins story, which technically hasn't started, he's about to call out Cody, then why wouldn't they?
Same thing with the Seth and Punk. They building that right up right now.
They're not though. Punk is fucking about to go up with Cody.
We'll see. We'll see. Both technically haven't started yet. All she said is, "I'll see you at WrestleMania." Let's see if they keep building on that next week. I mean, we'll see. I mean, let the best story win. Let's see how they build it up. I think the verdict is still out on which should be the main event.
I don't think all she said was "I'll see you at WrestleMania." They literally talked about having a WrestleMania match the whole fucking promo.
Well, you know what I said. I was just getting the gist of it. You know, Becky was like, "I think you're better than me," but I have to find out and all that jazz.
I'm already more intrigued with that than Punk and fucking Rollins.
That's because you're biased.
No, I'm not.
You're not a Punk fan,
So I'm not a Rhea fan either.
but you're a Becky fan, and you
I'm also a Rollins fan.
Are you though?
Not as much as I am Becky, but
And I'm saying I still have my I'm still open to seeing, what's the better story and what's the main event. And I think as we get closer, I'm like, all right, this story has me intrigued more, so that's your main event. But on paper, like I said, I give the edge to Seth and Rollins, but Becky and Rhea still have time to win me over.
well, Rollins might not even be the world champion because reports are that he may have sustained an injury last night in the main event. We don't know how serious that is, but it has been reported that he needed help to the back and it was not selling a Jinder Mahal ass whooping.
Did Jinder really whoop his ass like that?
That's what I'm saying though. He wasn't selling, he actually got hurt.
I don't know. Watching that match, can you like pinpoint a time where you think it may have happened?
Nah, I
Hmm.
can't.
Was it
Maybe something happened after the cameras went off the air. They had a little tussle because Drew and fucking Damian Priest were out there, and them other two big motherfuckers were out there.
Veer? And I can't remember the other guy's name.
In this year,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the tag team name. Was it what was it? What body part you said it was again?
I think they said his ankle. I don't want to, don't quote me on that, but I think that's what I read.
Hey,
It hasn't been like top of my list to go investigate.
hey, like Chris Rock said, throw some tussin on that shit.
Yeah, it's WrestleMania season, Seth.
Just throw some ice, wrap that up real quick, and it'll be
Everybody
fine.
was expecting Punk to be the one to get injured, not Seth.
Oh, there's still time left.
And that right there, EJ, is why they can't put him in the main event.
No, it's not why. That's why they don't have him wrestle. They're smart. Unlike a certain company he just came from, had him wrestling uh, the Workhorsemen on a random Friday night.
I mean, Sting's wrestling the workhorseman.
Different thing.
Yeah,
Sting can
Sting's
do whatever he
built
wants.
different. Sting's built way different than Punk.
Yeah, Sting can do whatever he wants. But
Man, I bet AEW so mad they didn't have that fucking 3-pack with Sting, Punk, and Darby all in the fucking Chicago face paint when they all came out together. You remember that shit?
when was that?
Sting, Darby, and Punk had a 6-man tag together, and they all came out with face paint. It was painted up like the Chicago flag.
Oh yeah. That was man. How long ago was that? That was like what 2022 or something like that.
Plenty of fucking time for AEW to have put that damn 3-pack out, right?
Hmm.
Watch, I bet they had. I bet they haven't. I just don't know about it.
What 3-pack?
A action figure 3-pack.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know
Action figures. I know you're not into the figure game, EJ, but action figures are real big with when people do like special ring attire and shit like that. The first thing everybody does is run to Twitter like, and they tag the company that makes the action figures like, you gotta put one of those out. And to my knowledge, they haven't, but maybe they have. I don't know. I don't keep up with AEW figures like I used to.
Did they put a 3-pack of Edge and Darby and Sting?
Nah, not that I know of. That'd be too fast. That just happened. Like, it usually takes about a year for them to get that shit made and down the pipe.
How long?
Yeah, Fallon Henley on my TV screen.
How long does it take to throw that shit in a 3D printer?
I mean, they got to get approval. They got to get, you got to get my boy JD Hoop paid because he's designing everybody's fucking gear now.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that.
I mean, not everybody, but yeah, you got to come up with the people that made the gear. There's a lot of shit that goes into it. You can't just be like, all right, we got the license for Dominic Mysterio. Let's make one.
That's dope though. And since we're on the subject of Sting, I don't know how I didn't put this on the list. Young Bucks come out at the end of Dynamite with some porn stashes and a white and black suit, and they're hitting towards this being Sting's last match. What was your reaction to this?
I almost want to like, you know how in like movies that are real religious, the person has like a literal come to Jesus meeting and they talk to God like, what is happening? I almost want to ask, like, did I do something? The Cowboys don't win. I got Ric Flair riding Sting's coattails through his whole tour, and now I got to deal with him wrestling the Young Bucks in his last match. What did I do?
Right.
Because I feel like it's all directed at me.
Hey, I can't answer that question.
And that's how I felt when I saw that the Young Bucks are going to be his. So, I mean, I read all kind of reports and, we don't do spoilers and dirt sheets and shit like that. So I don't really care what the reports say. I will say this, as I've had time to ponder on it. In Sting's last match, he is going to need somebody that can bump around for him and do a bunch of shit with Darby that lets him catch his breath and not fucking die because he's 65. And, he could probably still push press the Young Bucks. They can make the crowd start cheering against them and for Sting. But like I said earlier, I think the Bucks are just there to bump around for him. They'll make him look good and send the crowd home happy. And I don't think there's any threat that the Young Bucks will win the fucking match because it's the Young Bucks. Like, what do they need to beat Sting for?
But you know what everybody always says when somebody retires, they want to go out on their back. And what
I
if they
don't
try to
give a
get
fuck.
what if they try to get cute and have the Bucks win?
I think if this were WWE, they would, but I think Tony Khan is a big enough fan of Sting that he's like, that ain't happening. Sorry. Like, you're winning the match. They're already fucking like, they're like 50-0, him and Darby. Why the fuck would they lose to the Young Bucks?
Because they're the E in All Elite Wrestling.
How E are they though when Kenny Omega just picks a random fucking guy from Home Depot and beats him every time they have a tag team match?
Hey, it's their company. However they want to win, they'll win. But
Well, they ain't gonna beat Sting. I do so much fucking damage in that place if they beat Sting. Yeah, we might have to start a GoFundMe for bail me out of Greensboro County Jail Monday morning.
hey, I got 5 on your bail.
That's it. Damn. Thought I'd be worth more than $5.
I would say 500. That's what we'll go with.
Starting in February, I'm gonna wear a Sting shirt for the show every week until I go see his last match. Get a little practice in for WrestleMania T-shirt week this year.
That's what's up. But going back to the main point of this, man, I hate everything about the Young Bucks being in this match.
Mm.
I mean, can't we just get what we want? And I know Sting is a 64-year-old man, but I would expect him to pull one more one-on-one match just because you know it's going to be your last match.
I don't need to see Sting in one-on-one match.
I would like to see it, man. Him and Darby, that would have been poetic justice. Instead,
Darby's
we get the Young Bucks.
Darby's got too much fucking energy for Sting to be fighting him one-on-one. Sting needs time to like lay down in the corner and catch his breath, get his bearings about him. He's old.
Darby could slow his ass down for one match.
Darby can't slow himself down. Well, you see Sting standing outside Darby doing that fucking suicide dive at him. Sting be paralyzed.
I just don't like the Young Bucks. I don't want to see them. I don't know.
I'm there with you, but I'm trying to look at the bright side. I'm not happy that Ric Flair's there, fucking taking up all the spotlight from Sting, doing those geriatric ass chops he was doing on Hobbs last week. I'm definitely not happy that the Young Bucks are involved, but you know, for the most part, AEW has done right by Sting, way better than what WWE did. So there ain't a lot of things I'd give Tony the benefit of the doubt on, but I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt on this one. I'm gonna be patient and see how he handles my Icon's retirement. And then if it sucks, I'll say it sucks, but I don't think it will. I think Tony has booked Sting as perfectly as you can book Sting at his age for what he's doing. Made him feel like a big deal, made him feel like an icon, the whole nine. Way better than what WWE did with him. So I'll just be patient.
Yeah, I'm trying to think though. Like, if you are gonna put him in a tag team match, is there anybody better? I'm trying to think of like all his WCW feuds. Of course not. Terry.
Everybody's dead. Maybe not dead, but all these motherfuckers are old.
Yeah,
Sting was the young guy compared to the rest of them. Hogan was older than him. Macho Man's dead. Luger was in a wheelchair. Sid plays softball and can barely walk. Like, there's nobody left. Arn Anderson's, half his body doesn't work. The Great Muta retired last year. Steve Austin's taking fucking ice baths on Instagram. Like, he's got no Vader's dead. There's nobody.
What about Ron Simmons?
Man, Ron Simmons ain't wrestled in 20 years.
He still look
He's
good.
wrestling with that fucking half-row he's got left.
Black
I don't mean to speak I don't mean to speak bad about the legend Ron Simmons. That's my guy, but somebody needs to tell him that that afro when your hairline is like halfway back doesn't look right. It was like Jerry Rice had them fucking cornrows when he was with the Raiders.
Oh man. Oh, that was a hot ass mess.
That was rough.
Yeah, it was time
Them
for him to come
cornrows
home.
started back here with my headphones on.
Him and Stevie Wonder, him and Stevie and Wonder in the same boat.
Oh my god.
But yeah, what about a Vampiro? Vampiro.
Vampiro?
Yeah.
I don't even I don't think he wrestles anymore. He does a podcast. But he wasn't a big enough rival of Sting to be his last match.
Didn't he push him off of Titantron?
Yeah, Sting got his get back though. I still haven't found it, but it's a really good episode of Nitro. Vampiro's talking shit about Sting. Sting drops down from the ceiling and just starts whooping his ass with a bat, but he's got the microphone. He's talking shit to him. He's like, I learned pain from Ric Flair, and he hit him with the bat. Total package Lex Luger hit him with the bat again. Can't remember everything he was saying to him, but I was like, it's the most gangster shit I ever seen Sting do. Had the microphone and was just calling shit out.
What about I was just thinking about it. Kevin Nash.
He can barely walk, EJ.
What?
All these guys,
I didn't know Kevin
these
Nash
guys-
was in bad shape.
all these guys were older than Sting, like when they were wrestling. And now Sting's 65.
Like him and Nash about the same age.
Yeah, but Nash has had fucking 4 quad surgeries and hip replacements and shit like that. Like Nash is in no condition to wrestle. Scott Hall's dead. Scott Steiner, he can't wrestle anymore. Rick Steiner's a fucking sexist or whatever, so they wouldn't have him come back. Like
DDP.
DDP can't. DDP's older than Sting.
They're about the same age.
DDP's almost 70.
And what about a Goldberg?
No. Sting's trying to have his last match and be healthy to live the rest of his life. He's not trying to wrestle Goldberg and end up fucking paralyzed.
Or like a Buff Bagwell, Billy Kidman.
You want to do a one-on-one match? It would suck. But
No.
theatrics would be great. Fucking hire the Undertaker.
No. I don't want a one-on-one match. I'm just saying a better tag team that you could put them that has some like historical relevance besides the Young Cucks.
EJ, they're all gone, dog. Everybody's gone. There's nobody left. Sting is the last of that era.
I know you're not gonna want to hear this. What about
No.
what about a Jeff Jarrett?
Jeff Jarrett doesn't count as being in that era.
What? They had some matches at WCW. What you mean?
They did, but he wasn't a big star in that era. He was just Jeff Jarrett's been the same his entire career. He's just been a guy that people try to make a main event that's not a main eventer.
Former WCW champion.
Cool.
Respect to
So
that
is
man,
David
man.
Arquette. Should he wrestle David Arquette?
Maybe. Hey, that's not a bad idea.
They fought in Ready to Rumble.
It's not a bad idea. Anything
They can
better than the Young Bucks.
They can continue the story from Ready to Rumble.
Yeah, do that.
Stop it, DJ. Now, I could pick better people that are in AEW. Honestly, I'd rather pick, if I was to pick somebody, I would have picked the Ass Boys.
Yeah.
They were going to have a tag match because the Ass Boys I could see actually winning and furthering the story. They're in Bullet Club Gold. They fucking bump around like crazy. They get the crowd fucking pissed off while they're there. Sting would be the most fucking over person there. I mean, he's going to be anyway, but I could see them being better than the Young Bucks. But again, we'll see.
Or why don't you pick somebody that they have history in AEW with? Why don't you rehash Starks and Hobbs? Be like, we don't rock with each other anymore, but we'll come back for this cause of taking out Sting or whatever.
Because you're just fucking up the storyline. Now, Starks is a tag team champion with Big Bill.
Hey, man, I'm just throwing some stuff out there. I'm trying to think of who they had beef with in AEW. Trying to think, who was a match that we saw at Revolution 2022 with Sting was in when he was jumping off of stuff?
Is that Orlando?
Yeah.
Uh, I think Matt Hardy was in that match.
Ugh.
Here,
Definitely don't want to
here,
see him in there.
here we go in the fucking women's locker room with a camera again on NXT. NXT is definitely for the horny niggas. I said that on Twitter.
Yeah, like if you sit back and think about it, why is there a camera in the
Exactly.
women's locker room? But it could be a
Yeah,
woman cameraman or camera woman.
but still, there's no cameraman in the men's locker room
Yeah, they is.
every week. Not with all of the men sitting around like stretching and Gigi Dolan's bending over, putting lotion on and shit. Like it ain't nothing like that. It's just Trick and Mello talking to each other.
That is true. Yeah, why is it always like a group of women back there?
And they
It,
never get along. It makes it seem like you put a bunch of women together, there's just gonna be a fight that starts.
people stealing people's lockers and whatnot.
Right. They got name tags on them.
NXT. Keep being you, NXT. Uh what who was that? Okay, so it was what that's random. Sammy Guevara teamed up with Darby Allin and Sting in that match for some reason. That doesn't really make sense. It was you're right, it was Matt Hardy. It was when he had it, and I don't even remember him being in that match. It was Andrade, Isaiah, and Matt Hardy. I don't know. Was that little time period where Sammy was a little bit over? He just got done with Cody and he was trying to do his own thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I
He was
guess.
over as a face a little bit, and
Yeah.
Then him and Tay got on TV, and people started hating on him.
Mhm. That's when people are a little bit too smart for their own good. We know why, but it's a story for a different day.
How dare you get with a hot ass woman like that, Sammy Guevara? We hate you now.
Well, I guess we get into a little bit. Allegedly, they got together while he was still married, but
That's just what people
that's
say, though.
rumor. That's
They don't
rumor and
fucking
conjecture.
know. Yeah, they don't know.
I'm just telling you, when the internet smarks get on something, they run with it.
What a bunch of stupid cunts.
Hey, you said it.
I don't know. I don't like the internet how they roll anymore. Like I'm growing tired of the internet, like social media. Twitter used to be my favorite form of social media. Now I'm more on Instagram more just because I can scroll and I don't have to talk to people. But like the mob mentality that everybody has now, how they jump to conclusions with everything, and people just say stuff too. Like they just put shit out there and say it like it's a fact. And one thing I really hate people used to do is be like, well, you know, Vince will never go for that. Like, how the fuck do you know that? You never worked at WWE. Vince would never let them do that. Shut the fuck up. Like, who are you, Brian 3247890? Like, you don't fucking know.
I get what you're saying. Like they're saying it and like it's a known fact, like it's 100% true. But as far as specifically the Vince example, we've seen 100 million shows with Vince. You could be like, that sounds or looks like a Vince thing, but to say is he wouldn't go for that. You can't just say that.
I mean, whatever. That's not the topic we're on. I'm not about to start defending Vince McMahon stuff for damn sure. So I'm definitely not going there. Fuck that guy. Um, yeah, it is what it is. Let's get to power rankings
Let's get it.
because the power rankings will tie in to TNA. Was it hard to kill this weekend?
It was hard to kill.
I went to Hard to Kill last year and saw Mickey James win the world title.
Man, that was just a year ago. It seems like ages ago.
And then she got hurt and she was out and she came back and lost to Trinity.
That's a name that might get brought up in a second. But I think who went last? I think I went last week. I know I didn't write it down last week. I can't remember who went first though.
I'll go first. My number 5 Actually, this will be her last time on Power Rankings for a while because rumor and innuendo would have it that she tore her ACL. Miss Cora Jade defeated Gigi Dolan on NXT last week and blow off of their feud, and then she tore her ACL over the weekend at an NXT house show.
Again? Didn't she just come back from injury?
Yep, just came back.
Hey, we wish her a speedy recovery, but she just might be injury prone, a la what's
Tegan
the
Knox.
that her and what's the damage control,
Dakota Kai.
Dakota Kai.
Mm.
That's unfortunate because she just came back from injury. So it's unfortunate. We wish her a speedy recovery. Um, my only AEW people on this list are number 5 for me, and still your AEW tag team champions, Ricky Starks and Big Bill, with that win on the street fight. Did you get to watch the Collision?
I did, and I completely forgot that they did that match, but Will
I think
Hobbs came out and helped them, and they ended up winning the street fight. And my favorite thing in the world was how Ricky Starks was dressed. I talk about this all the time. When I was a kid and Dusty Rhodes would have a street fight, he'd be wearing cowboy boots, some jeans, a t-shirt, a bandana tied around his leg for no fucking reason. And whoever he was fighting would also have on jeans and a t-shirt. It's a street fight. I don't want to see you with wrestling boots on. I don't even want to see you in the ring. It's a street fight. My boy Ricky Starks came out there with a Target Purple Rain. I got the same shirt. And I got it at Target to wear to the gym. I loved it.
Hey, that's how you come out with a street fight. You know it's a street fight and you got jeans on. And just to correct myself earlier, I think I said Collision. I think this one was technically on Battle of the Belts. Yeah, it was a fun match. How do you feel about them just ignoring? I know you say you don't like the rumors, but the cloud hanging over Chris Jericho. We touched on it on the previous show, but they're just rolling him out there like nothing happened. So I guess
I
maybe
still don't know what the fuck happened. So I don't have anything to say about because I don't know. I don't know what the rumor is. I don't know what he was accused of doing. I don't fucking know. I don't care about Jericho enough to go looking for it.
Allegedly he made an inappropriate pass at Kylie Ray back when she was with the company.
Really? That's just now coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Is that why she left?
That's what the rumor is. And somebody, one of the, it wasn't Sean Sapp, but it was another writer that mentioned something in the comments, and she basically, she didn't directly say yes, but the way she commented under what he said has people believing that it's true.
Mm. Well, I mean, if nothing has, and this isn't me, this is just being a 41-year-old knowing how companies work. If nothing's been officially put on the record or whatever, they can't they're not gonna listen to the internet, you know? Even though Tony, that's what he does, he's always on the internet. They're not gonna listen to the internet and do something like that. I don't even think Jericho would let them. But if that's true and they investigate it and they find something, yeah, I think it's fucked up. But if they haven't found anything and it's just innuendo, then what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let the internet punk them into taking Jericho off TV?
That's true, but if I'm Jericho and I'm innocent, I'm like, all the rumors on the internet, I did not do this.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't even have that lingering out there.
Yeah, but I mean, you're a lawyer. Like, they probably got lawyers telling them, don't even fucking mention. Just ignore it.
If I'm this lawyer, I know some people go that route. I would nip it at the bud.
I hear you. I don't want this to come off sound like I'm defending them or Jericho, because again, this is the first I heard about what happened. But if nobody's pressed any kind of charges or came out and said it, or she never went to HR or Tony Khan and told them about it, like, what are they supposed to do?
Yeah.
And if she
go ahead.
And if she hadn't come out directly, like you said, she was being indirect about it. If it's what happened and she hasn't come out and said, yeah, this is what happened, then like I don't know what to tell people. Just because the internet sleuths say that he did something, and I ain't saying he did or didn't do it, but if you're running a company, multi-million dollars, like you can't just take people off of television because a bunch of motherfuckers on the internet told you that he did something wrong. If the person that he quote unquote wronged didn't come to you and like formally complain about it. And I don't know if she did or didn't. If she did, it's definitely fucked up. If she didn't, I mean, the guy's hands are tied.
Yeah. I guess we just got to wait and see if anything else comes up from that story. But I don't want to get too much into that. I'll move to my next on my power ranking. Number 4, I have your new TNA Digital Media Champion, Crazy Steve, defeating Tommy Dreamer. I bet didn't know Tommy Dreamer's had a title.
I did.
Oh, okay. Because a lot of people didn't know.
I saw him when
results.
TNA rolled out all their new titles, which I loved, by the way.
Got it.
I love the look of their new titles. I love that some of them are red, some of them are white, some of them are black. Like I love they're all different, but kind of the same. I don't think you should be in a power ranking for beating Tommy Dreamer, though. But I digress.
I'm just trying to give love to the new champion. It was on the pre-show, which I appreciate them not putting Tommy Dreamer on the main show. But that's my number 4.
My number 4 is your new Ultimate X winner for the women, I guess you would call it. Is that what they called it? Ultimate X?
Yep.
Giselle Shaw.
Oh,
it's a decent match.
I like how you have people that are on my list. Yeah, that was a good match. I think it was the first match on the pre-show, or was it on the main show? I can't remember.
No, it was on the main show.
Yeah, and they got they said this girl was in NXT UK, but I didn't watch it. Xia Brookside.
Mm-hmm. I like her.
How much you know anything about her?
I don't know too much about her. I've seen her wrestle NXT, and I think she wrestled for AEW a couple times. I think that's how I saw her. AEW Dark and shit like that.
Yeah. They say she's a new signing, and they also signed a girl from, I can't remember the name of that. I think it's an Aussie group or a UK group. Luna. I can't remember her full name.
They also signed my girl Dana Brooke.
Yeah.
Who's doing people are saying she's doing a Tony Storm ripoff. She hadn't even spoke or did anything. She was just in the crowd dressed up, and everybody's like, she's trying to be Tony Storm. Like, give it a fucking minute, people. My God.
Ash by Elegance or something of that nature.
Yeah, that's exactly the name of it, of her.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was Dana Brooke until like days later when somebody pointed it out on Twitter. But that's what happens when you watch shit on your phone.
I know it was just because they said it was the former Dana Brooke, but I was never a fan of her. Maybe this is what she needed to do a revamp of her gimmick, and
I like Dana Brooke.
I know for some reason.
Yeah, some people just you have a soft spot for. Dana Brooke's one of mine.
Well, what?
Dana Brooke, Liv Morgan.
I'm all for giving it a chance. See if she's able to cook.
My number 3, and still your TNA World Tag Team Champions, Bullet Club for life. Ash and Bay.
Yeah, I wasn't
expecting that.
I like how they got them to retain. They were going up against the Rascals and Young Grizzled Vets, and injury happened to Trent Seven, so he replaced. The Luchador replaced Trent Seven with Mike Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
Can't remember which Luchador it was. My bad. But it was a fun match. A lot of back and forth. And I like how they're pushing the ABC. We'll see how they do moving forward. I know eventually you're gonna want to have them do their own singles thing again, but I don't know if you should rush that because they're still young. And I guess you could have one of them go for the X division or that digital media, but why do that if they're over as a tag team right now? I say, keep it going till the wheels fall off.
I want to see Chris Bay as world champion, but he's got to. I shouldn't say he's got to do more on the mic. I don't think they've given him much of a chance on the mic, so I don't know like how good he is or isn't. He'll have to start talking more, but in the ring, he's world champion material.
Yeah, but like you said, I think we have to see more mic work from him. But I want it to be organic. I just don't want them to shoehorn him into that title picture. If it's like a groundswell from the fans, then
Yeah,
push him to the moon.
I hear that.
And
Who's your
we got
number
time.
3?
I got your new TNA Women's Tag Team Champions. I think this was on the pre-show. Decay, or returning Decay, because before, I don't know if they had an official name, but it was Jessica and Courtney Rush, but they transformed back into Rosemary and Havoc, defeating your girl, Killer Kelly.
I don't think
MK
anybody
Ultra.
that beats Killer Kelly should be put on the power rankings.
Well, it happened. And Marsha Snimovich. And I don't know what direction. I think they wanted to go for nostalgia because Rosemary was like, a stalwart in that towards the end of the TNA era and Decay, back when they had Abyss and whatnot. So I think they kind of try to tap into the nostalgia with them winning. But I hope that this is just the start of a feud with the MK Ultra. That's the Killer Kelly's tag team name.
Yep.
Hope that's the start of a feud, and maybe they'll go back and forth and get those titles back on MK Ultra because I don't really see the point of putting it on Decay, but they did it, and that's my number 3 pick.
I'm hoping it's the start of Killer Kelly becoming a single star.
I mean, I'm sure we'll get into it later. I think they're probably gonna need some people to step up and in contention for that women's title. But yeah, that was my number 3. That means I go to my number 2. I can't remember how we were slinking it.
Yep. Go ahead, your number 2.
I guess that's a good segue actually into you saying she should be in the title picture. My number 2 is your new TNA Women's Champion, Jordynne Grace, defeating our girl Trinity and the new champion. Jordynne Grace slowly won over Rucker. He's the biggest Jordynne Grace fan now.
Stop that. Don't lie to the people. Don't lie to the people. Of all people that could have beat Trinity, it was Jordynne Grace. But yeah, she's also my number 2, so we can both talk about that a little bit. She's what, 3-time champion now. She left the company, came back. I guess she got out. I guess she's like the Michael Gallup of TNA, for the Cowboys. Like, she's a good hand. She's reliable in most ways. But she went out to test the free agent market and realized that she wasn't as sought after as she thought she was. And now she's back.
Yeah.
And now she's world champion again.
You think she did a good job of, taking a break and then coming back?
I mean, I think there's other people that could have been, that would have, they lost Deanna. I think I'm pretty sure Mickie James is done with the company too.
Yeah. Shout out to Mickie, and she with OVW.
Yeah, she's like a producer or vice president of talent or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if we heard her music come in for the Royal Rumble. But they've lost a good bit of main event people. So I think this would have been a great time for a different woman to win and get the rub from beating Trinity. Like, Jordynne Grace has been there, done that. She's not gaining anything from being the one to beat Trinity.
Yeah, but they could be telling the people that this is who we want to be the face of the division now. If the rumors are true, you know, Trinity, allegedly, this might be her last match in there. And you know what? I kind of don't like her losing if it is true that she is leaving. I would have liked them to kind of tease it if she would have won. And then if the rumors are true, what if she just would have showed up to another company with the belt? Remember they used to do that back in the day? Because then when Taz was with the WWE, he had to get the belt off of Mike Awesome or something like that. And he made an appearance back at ECW.
Yeah, they don't do that kind of shit anymore.
I mean, they have a working relationship with WWE. That would have been dope if like we didn't expect it. But because now that she lost this match, people are kind of expecting her to pop up at the Rumble. It's not gonna be a bigger surprise. Like I think that would have been a nice little swerve if she would have beat Jordynne Grace and have her drop it maybe next month or something.
So I'm looking at the TNA roster page, and yeah, they really didn't have anybody else. You know, they got Zia Brookside on the page now, but there was no story with that. Tasha Steelz was in the other match. There's no story there. She would have been a good name. But the rest of these people aren't built up yet. You know, Killer Kelly is a name, but she was a tag team champion at the time, so she couldn't have did it. Kylan King, I don't think is built up enough. Yeah, I guess Jordynne Grace was really the only option they had.
Deanna's gone.
Yeah,
Who the
I'll name all
trainers?
the women now if you want me to. You got Alicia Edwards,
Definitely not.
Courtney Rush.
Now Rosemary again. Nah, you can't. I mean, you could.
Oh, is that who Rosemary is?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. They got two, so they're like Mick Foley because they got the Death Dolls and they got Decay.
That was their official name, the Death Dolls.
So you got Danny Luna.
Yeah, that's the one from the group I was telling you.
Gail Kim is on here, but I don't think she wrestles anymore.
She's retired.
Gia Miller, Giselle Shaw, who won, Havoc, who was in that match, Jody Threat, who I've never heard of.
She's Canadian. She's solid, but they haven't built her up enough that she could go.
Kylan King, who I said earlier, Masha and Killer Kelly, who were tag champs at the time. Savannah Evans, she wasn't ready. Tasha Steelz, we talked about Sue Young and Zia Brookside. So yeah,
I hadn't seen Sue Young in forever.
I take it back. Like they didn't have anybody to.
They have people that can, once they build them up for a couple weeks. Because Marsha Samovich, they were teasing like she was gonna get the title at one point. Of course,
versus Mickey.
Yeah, Killer Kelly could do it, but once they split off into their own stories, Tasha Steelz, of course, she's a former champion.
Yeah, I think this would have been a good time to put the title on somebody that hadn't had it yet. But like I said, there was no. The majority of them were in tag teams that could have did it.
Yeah,
and in the X division, I mean, they could have obviously not booked them in the X division match, but yeah, so it is what it is. Jordynne Grace won. Congrats. My number one, your new TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Moose, who was then confronted by the former Dolph Ziggler, who pulled the Sting and had two T-shirts on and couldn't fuck. He didn't take as long as Sting did, but he couldn't get the right shirt ripped off. And he attacks Moose, and they're off to the races with Nick Nemeth. Or Nemeth. Is it Nemeth or Nemeth?
I think it's Nemeth.
Is this moving the needle for you, brother?
I don't know. The verdict's still out. A lot of people are saying they're just falling back into the same formula of why TNA kind of dipped, relying on former WWE people, and I don't know how I feel about it yet. I still got to see. Like, people don't let things play out, and I don't like that. But I still don't know how I feel about it. I got to see how they execute it. But I don't know. What do you think?
I was just never a big Dolph Ziggler guy. He had me for like 6 months when he had the Money in the Bank and he's running around with AJ and Big E. But after he won the title, I was just like, okay, now what? And then he's just never done it for me.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest Ziggler fan, but you got all the people that are always crying. He doesn't get enough shine and doesn't get enough opportunity. Well, he's a bigger fish in a smaller pond now. Let's see what you do. Since people were, you know, vying for you all of these years, let's see if you could do something.
Yeah, I mean, they did the same thing with Cesaro, and we see where that's got him, and Miro, and the list goes on and on.
Um, so this was a rebranding of TNA, and also Moose is not number one. So uh this is a rebranding of TNA and it kind of reset. And how do you feel about Moose getting it? And it seems like they're gonna have him as like the number one heel of the company going forward. They got the title off of the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley, and he was like the third longest reigning champion quietly, which is kind of crazy to think about. But I digress. They got the title on Moose, and early in the show, they introduced him as the leader of this new faction, the System. It also has Eddie Edwards, Alicia, and Brian Myers. So, how do you feel about this kind of like reset and rebranding and having Moose as like your heel face, so to speak?
I know Moose had a lot of off the field issues too that we've talked about before, which again, I don't know what they were or what they are. So if I turn all that off and I just watch, like I like Moose. Moose is a big bad motherfucker. Like he ain't the best promo in the world, you know. I feel like he needs like a. This is gonna sound weird, like a tongue reduction. like his tongue is too big to talk, right? Like, but
I think my guy just got a lisp. I don't know.
There ain't no lisp. I got a lisp. That motherfucker his tongue is too big. But yeah, Moose is dope, man. He can go in the ring. He's fucking changed his body around. Remember, he was a little tubby when he first got in. He changes obviously how he looks. He can wrestle his ass off. If you see TNA in person and Moose comes out, like that intro they do for him, he looks like a fucking star compared to the rest of the people that come out there. Like, so I don't have an issue with it. I think he's a way better world champion than Alex Shelley.
Yeah. I mean, if you were building a wrestler in a factory, Moose is how you wanted him to look. Like you said earlier, he was a little doughy at first, but he had that offensive lineman weight still on, and you know how trim they get after they retire. Those big boys who had to keep the weight on and trimmed up. Looks like $1,000,000. I didn't mind Shelley because they kind of gave him the nostalgia run. It was
a
okay.
little too long though. It went on a little too long for me. It could have ended like 3 months ago.
Just a tad bit, but he put on good matches. But if going forward, Moose is definitely a guy that you want to put the belt on, and let's see what they do with this faction. Hopefully, they just don't repeat the same thing every week. Them just beating everybody down, and hopefully they'll put some substance behind the group. I think they will. I'll give it a chance. And I'm curious to see what happened because I didn't read spoilers. They recorded an episode right after Snake Eyes. I want to say an Okada may have appeared at that. So
oh wow,
that I might be wrong, but either him or Osprey. I want to say New Japan, a big New Japan guy, wrestled on the show they recorded right after the day after it. So
you say I need to be tuning in to Impact on Thursday night?
Yeah, I'm gonna say you should probably tune into that. See what
I'll watch Impact. I'll watch Impact while I'm doing 80 proof.
Multitasking. Not mad at that. But yeah, TNA is off to the races. Fans were into it. They were at the Palms, which is a nice venue in Vegas. Yeah. Just the only thing, they just need a better TV deal. And people were saying that. And I'm surprised they hadn't maybe tried to test the waters with like a Viacom, maybe. I think nobody watches MTV. I'm surprised they haven't tried to like get on like an MTV or something like that.
They're on Access, right? Don't they come on Access on Thursdays now?
Yeah, but not a lot of people get access.
I got it now.
Yeah. I
That's
know.
better than what they were on, right? Where I had to fucking wait until it was later in the day now. I think so. I don't have a DVR, but I have like certain channels record certain shows for you anyway. So like I can go back on my TV now instead of watching on my computer. I can go back and watch like Monday Night Raw and AEW and shit. So I might be able to set this up to keep the episodes of Impact on there too. There's something about watching shit on TV. I don't like watching stuff on my computer. I'm old, man.
I watch everything on the TV.
Even the website, I can never
Yeah.
get it to work on the TV.
Yeah. On Fire Stick, just use the internet browser. I got them all set up as favorite. Like just click right on the internet browser.
I'll try that.
On Fire Stick, and it works like a charm. Watch it all the replays on that. I can't remember. I think it's the Silk browser. Yeah, I just got the website's bookmark. Click right on it. Perfectly crystal clear. But enough with what life hacks with that. I think that was we both had our number ones on our power ranking, right?
Yep.
And there you have it. TNA back in action. Something we didn't touch on last week. I don't think we did. Did we talk about Tony going ham on Twitter?
No, we didn't. Let's talk about that. Did you read any of it? Because I only saw bits and pieces of it. I saw more people complaining about it than actually saw what he was doing.
Yeah, I didn't go like tweet by tweet. I got like the gist of it from several different outlets. I don't know what sparked them off, but apparently somebody got pissed in his cornflakes, and I guess people were saying Jinder deserved a title shot or something like that. I don't know.
Oh yeah, he was mad about Jinder. He was mad because people were talking shit about Hook challenging Samoa Joe, and then Jinder got a title shot, and he's like bringing up all these stats, and Jinder hasn't won since this time, and Jinder said something back to him that I didn't get to see. It got deleted, I think.
He said,
But
who the fuck is Hook? That's what Jinder said.
no, he didn't.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, worry about your own show, Tony. Like, who gives a fuck? It just shows that you're watching every fucking thing that they do. Triple H doesn't come out and be like, man, I can't believe Britt Baker's getting a title shot this week. Like, she wasn't even in the top 10. You never hear that shit. Why is he worried about WWE?
He's just got thin skin. He's gonna respond. That's a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, it's a bad look just because how high he is in the company. He's the owner. But
you said something.
Business. I'll give him that.
You said something perfect right there. You said it's a good and a bad thing. The good that we talked about earlier was the fact that he's such a fan. He's going to do right by Sting. The bad is the fact that he's such a fan and he's at the age where he gets Twitter fingers that he can't just shut the fuck up. He gets offended and he has to talk about every fucking thing. And he doesn't have to. Like you just said, you're the owner of the company, bro. Like, why are you worried about Jinder Mahal?
Like, he just has these weird outbursts at weird topics. Not the topics that most people want to hear. Like, he'll ignore those. But then, like, he'll cling on to weird things that people aren't really talking about. And this is interesting behavior by him.
And you're right. It is random, too. Like, he'll just wake up at like 3 a.m. and just start fucking tweeting bullshit out. That fucking coke that took hold of his ass.
Maybe that's what we joke, but I don't know. It's just
that's not a joke. Like I haven't been around a lot of people that do cocaine, but I think the way he acts is a tell.
Now, I'm gonna say allegedly because I don't want this to get clipped. And
let's pass it around. Let everybody see it. I don't give a fuck. Sue me for what? I ain't got no money, Tony. What you gonna sue me for? The naming rights to Boot to the Face? What are you gonna do with it? You're gonna run into the ground. Fucking AEW Dark Elevation, sponsored by Boot to the Face.
Yeah, but Going back to the topic at hand, were people complaining about Hook getting a title shot? I don't. If they were, I don't know why.
I think somebody just like made a joke. Like, why the fuck is Hook getting the title shot? Or what's he done to do this? And Tony just got sensitive. He got sensitive skin. It's that thing where you can have 100 people tell you you're doing a good job. And that one motherfucker is like, you fucking suck. You're like, what? And then you want to respond to them. You don't even say thank you to the people that are on your nuts, right? Like you just ignore them. But the one motherfucker that said something bad to you, you got to go off the deep end on them. And I think that's what's happening.
Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, just ignores people. I mean, Hook's been featured on TV pretty consistently, and he hasn't lost a lot. So I don't know if people were complaining. Like you said, it's probably like the vocal minority that were complaining. But why does anybody really get a title shot? Every now and then they'll do like a tournament or a battle royal for a title shot, but a lot of times people just pop up and start beefing.
All I know is all this shit has happened for 2 weeks now. Hook better bring his A game tomorrow night against Samoa Joe. Because if he comes out there and lays a fucking stinker, that's all that's going to be on the internet.
In my hometown too, they'll be in Charleston tomorrow, so hopefully they bring it.
Tony thought his mentions were bad last week. Let Hook come out there botching stuff.
Yeah, he better be on point. But yeah, I mean, that match with Jinder last night was fine. People were speculating that Tony's tweeting would bring more eyes to it. You think it brought more buzz to that Jinder and Steph match?
I think so. I definitely watched it.
I don't know. It was just messy. Like Tony, stay off of Twitter. One thing I will give AEW what they've been doing recently, maybe they've been finally listening to us. Seems like they've been scaling back, and I've been looking at their travel schedule with these TV tapings, and they've been going to like smaller venues, and they've been hitting up towns that they haven't been before, like pockets of smaller towns that they haven't been before. And if you look at it on TV, it looks a lot better. They're not blacking off, sectioning off upper Raptors in these bigger venues, and since they've been scaling back in, I said, keep it up. Do that. Keep it chugging. And as demand goes up, slowly start maybe going back to bigger venues for weekly TV, but do what they're doing right now. And then for the pay-per-views, go to the arena like Revolution, that's basically a sellout, and that's at a bigger arena. So
that's Sting, though.
True. I think World's End did well too with attendance. Yeah, like nothing wrong with just waiting to go to the bigger venues for pay-per-views and going to the 5,000 seater for weekly TV. Now that you have 2 TV shows, I think that's what really dipped into it. You going to having a Collision and a Dynamite.
Yeah. I'm excited about Greensboro though. I just happen to be looking at today how long that drive is, and I'm not excited about that. I actually looked at plane tickets, and the flight's like an hour and 10 minutes. I thought,
not bad.
But so it's a 5-hour drive. And I do this thing where I look at door to door. So if I leave my house 5 hours later, I get to the hotel. If I take a flight, I got to leave my house about 30 minutes before. I got to be at the airport for 2 hours before. That's the rule of thumb. So you're looking at 2.5 hours before, and then an hour and 15-minute flight. So now you're looking at 3 hours and 45 minutes. Then I have to rent a car and drive there. So you're looking at 4.5 hours. I might as well just drive.
Uber.
Yeah, but I'm going to want to get around. But even with Uber, like it's still about 45 minutes from the time you land to the time you get to the hotel. It's only going to save me fucking, 30 minutes? And it'll cost me more. So I might as well just drive.
Yeah. Just because you're in that like no man's land as far as drive time, 5 hours is like,
yeah,
it's long, but it's drivable. I don't care about the door to door, the actual time. I just don't like driving. So
Yeah, I don't
I
either. I do it for a living.
yeah, I just rather hop on plane and not worry about it and let somebody do the traveling for me. But yeah, 5 hours in that like no man's land.
Yeah. I'm like anything over 4 to 5 hours I'd fly to, but 5 hours is like fuck. It's like right there. Like I can't justify spending $300 on a plane ticket to get there and back, and then the Uber and all that shit when I'd spend more than half that on gas to get there and back, you know?
Yeah. Just toss a couple podcasts and roll down the highway.
Yep. Fucking being fiscally responsible and shit. How dare me?
How dare you?
Well, if you ain't got any more wrestling, EJ, let's get into these NFL playoff picks and we'll get up out of here.
Let's get it.
Before we talk NFL playoffs, I want to ask you here on the air, what do you got going on for the Royal Rumble? Are you busy that day? Or do you want to do a live prediction show leading into the Royal Rumble?
I'm not busy that day.
Yeah, let's do a live Royal Rumble. I'm having a Royal Rumble party, so say the Royal Rumble starts at 7. I say we go live at like 5-ish, and then go for an hour, predict everything, and that way we don't have to take up time on the show next week predicting the Royal Rumble also.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Cool. I will put all that on social media, and then we will do a Royal Rumble prediction show. Maybe I'll see if I can get us a couple guests to come on too. We'll jump on the old Twitch machine, and then you can. I mean, I guess it would make no sense to record it and put it on YouTube later. Maybe we'll do YouTube live.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
NFL divisional weekend. All the home teams won last week, except for the one home team that was undefeated throughout the regular season.
Wonder what team that was.
Saturday at 4:30, the Houston Texans, boy, they look good. The only game that surprised me more than this game was the Cowboys game. They went up and down the field on the fucking Browns defense. Like, I was shocked by that because I thought the Browns had the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, but they were on the road, so that may have played in factor, but Texas is like the better team.
Yeah. Texans at the Ravens at 4:30, EJ. I'm going to take the Ravens, but I'm going to be cheering for the Texans.
Got the Ravens.
Saturday, 8:15, the Green Bay Packers go to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. I have something real quick. I've told you before, like how I play Madden going into the game, and I can kind of get a feel for what's going to happen. So I played Green Bay twice, and both times they jumped out to a big lead on me, but I came back to win. But one thing that was pissing me off was I would have Jordan Love like sacked, and he would be like running the opposite direction and throw back the other way, and he'd have somebody either wide open or they'd make a crazy fucking catch. And I was just like, really? This is clearly a video game. Little did I know that's what was going to happen on Sunday. Like, every time we thought we had that motherfucker, he'd just sling it up, and either somebody was wide open or they'd run under it and make a crazy catch. Only difference is the Cowboys didn't come back like I did in the video game. So, I don't know.
We got to get into this Cowboy debacle.
We can do it another time. I don't want to do it now.
You know what? We can't just swim over it.
The wound is still open, EJ. I don't want to. Go ahead. What do you want to say about it?
People haven't gotten your thoughts on it, really.
I don't have much thought. Like, it was just a choke job. Like, they got a good team. Like, they have a really good team. They won 12 games 3 years in a row, but it's just not translating for whatever reason in the playoffs. And I know the easy, lazy thing is to say it's Dak's fault. Dak didn't fucking let them score 6 touchdowns on 7 possessions. Like, they punted the ball one time. That was Dak's fault. Dak was the one dropping the ball on 3rd down when they were trying to go down and tie the game at the beginning or running the wrong route or whatever. Now, That pick six was all him. But that first interception, that also wasn't his fault. Like, there's wide receivers on Twitter, like, Cooks ran a shitty route, and the DB should have been called for pass interference. And the DB made a great fucking catch. Like, it's not like he threw it right to him. You take away that and maybe like two other throws, I thought Dak played good. They just weren't scoring. Like, they were out of rhythm for whatever reason. But this is all on defense. This is all on Dan Quinn. There was a point early in the game, they had already scored a touchdown, Green Bay, and they were coming down again. It was like 3rd and 8. And the wide receiver just literally ran to the sticks, turned around, and there was nobody near him because they were playing zone. We haven't played zone all year. We're a man coverage team. And Dan Quinn just decided, I don't know what the fuck he was doing, honestly. Like, I saw a stat that somebody said where the Cowboys played 58 snaps and they only had like less than 10 snaps where they didn't have 6 defensive backs on the field. Green Bay's running the ball down your throat. Why you got cornerbacks out there? I don't know. It was just an awful game plan on defense, and the offense didn't fucking answer the bell. So I don't know. It's just one of them fucking things where I'm just frustrated with every fucking playoffs. It's like the other team comes out ready to go, and we don't. And it ain't just Mike McCarthy. It's been like this for 30 fucking years. It's like, I want to have a playoff game where we come out and hit the other team in the mouth. Not us come out, fall behind by 2 touchdowns, and now we're fighting back up. And it seems like for the longest, that's how it's been.
So you could put a lot of the blame on the defense. And a theory that you said in the past, I mean, it's good in theory, make the playoffs every year and you eventually break through. But the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Mike McCarthy, he doesn't coach defense. And I know you're a McCarthy fan, and I think he's good at calling plays, but I don't know how good of a leader of men he is and how good he is at rallying the troops. I don't know. So, I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
I got a hot take. Unless there's like an overhaul, I don't know what the overhaul would be. If I was, I'd be a millionaire making money in NFL. But unless there's an overhaul of some sort, I'm going to let him say Jerry Jones may not live to see his team go to another Super Bowl. We'll see it. But he's, 80-something? He might not live to see
81.
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Like you said, why isn't the Cowboys the team that hit the other team in the mouth? And when's the last time that the Cowboys had a coach that just puts the fear in the players? Because it wasn't the Cowboys the highly penalized team throughout the year as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you had Bill Parcells, but he was only there for 2-3 seasons. You had Wade Phillips, who was a happy-go-lucky dude. You had Coach Clapp, and McCarthy is not like a fair garden type coach. I think you need like a stern coach. And I don't know if Belichick. I don't think Belichick is necessarily the answer either.
So here's my opinion on one. I think the Cowboys are like the 5th youngest team in the NFL, but they also got a lot of veterans. They're not going to take well to somebody coming in, like treating them like everybody's talking about Harbaugh. Harbaugh's a good coach for college kids. Like, these are millionaires. They're in different parts of their life, right?
He got the 49ers or Super Bowl. He's doing something right in the NFL.
Yeah, and the shit fell apart the next year. As far as McCarthy goes, being a good leader thing, I think coaching in the NFL, you show your leadership throughout the regular season, like getting everybody up, getting everybody ready, 17 fucking games, right? In the playoffs, my coach shouldn't have to motivate me to be ready to play. It's the playoffs. Like, we just played 17 games. We got the number 2 seed. We have an inferior opponent coming in here that we should just beat the hell out of. We should literally go out there and kick the shit out of them. And for whatever reason, they weren't ready for it. I don't think that's on Mike McCarthy. You can't blame Why are you not ready to play? It's the playoffs.
Hey, you're basically the CEO of the team when you're the head coach. I know I get what you're saying. These are grown men. You can't be like a college type coach, but you could be a little bit too laid back. You know, you give Mike Tomlin his talent. I think he could do more.
I wouldn't mind Mike Tomlin being the coach. I don't want some old crusty retread. I don't want fucking Belichick. I don't want Vrabel. I don't want Harbaugh. I don't want any of these old motherfuckers that, 3 yards in the cloud of dust. Like I said on Twitter today, if they get a new coach, I want him to be a young coach. I want this motherfucker to have been on Tinder before, Snapchat. Like, I want him to be able to relate to the players. I don't want some old fucking guy that didn't play football, that didn't play Madden, that kind of shit. Like, the game is trending younger, and you keep hiring these old motherfuckers. Like, Bill Belichick is damn near Jerry Jones' age.
Yeah, I don't think Belichick is the right pick.
I think McCarthy's the right guy. I really do. I think Dan Quinn pulled the wool over our eyes by having 17 games where the defense looks good most of the time, but when we play really good offenses, they get smoked, and he never has an answer for it. And it happens every year in the playoffs, and it happened again this year. He had no EJ. We're trying to make a comeback, and they threw a ball to a guy where Jordan Love just heaved it up because he was about to get sacked, and he saw the guy was wide open, and it looked like a fucking punt. Like, there was nobody around the guy. How does that happen?
Bad.
Coaching.
It's bad. And as the head coach, you got to chew out your coordinators as well. I don't know if Mike McCarthy's the guy, but I think we have no other choice but to keep watching because I think Jerry Jones is going to give him like two or three more seasons.
You can't keep changing coaches every 3 or 4 years either, though. Like,
and
you're
Jerry
talking
Jones
about
doesn't though. When have you ever seen Jerry Jones get rid of a coach quickly? Besides Parcells, when he just clashed head with him. I think Parcells retired, didn't he?
Yeah, he retired, and then Wade Phillips got fired mid-season. But
he was there for a while.
Yeah, you can't. Then you're talking about a whole new offensive system again. Like, your quarterback was literally in the MVP conversation this year. Your offense was crazy good. They had a bad game in the playoff, but your defense, I think, was. We've been talking about. We've been talking about a running game, playing against the running game in Dallas for what? 4 years now. They can't stop the run.
Well,
and this motherfucker comes into the season with just 2 linebackers to start the year. Oh, we don't need linebackers. I can work that out. No, you can't, you arrogant motherfucker. Get some linebackers in there. And then you play the whole game with defensive backs everywhere, and Aaron Jones looks like fucking the bus, just running over people.
Jerome Bettis reincarnated.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, there you have it. That's our take on the Cowboys.
I got the 49ers.
Me too.
Sunday, you got the Buccaneers and the Lions. Who would have thought that Jared Goff will be playing against Baker Mayfield and the winners going to the NFC Championship?
Ain't that about a bitch?
I'm gonna take the Lions.
I got the Lions as well. It always seems like these teams like the Eagles and the 49ers, they get like the good matchups when it comes in the playoffs. I think the worst matchup would have been the Cowboys for them, but we don't get to see it.
I mean, Dallas had a good matchup this year. They literally could have won, and then they play the Lions again, and then they'd be in the NFC Championship, but they lost. So that's not even an excuse now. That was my excuse last year, was the Eagles got to play the Giants and the 49ers with a 4-string quarterback. But now it's like that excuse is gone too. The Cowboys had the worst fucking team in the NFC playoffs, and they got smoked.
I mean, they said the Packers one of the youngest teams ever in the playoff. I mean, sometimes you just young and dumb not to know better. They just went out there and played like it was any other game. So all you can say is
the Chiefs travel to Buffalo to take on the Buffalo Bills. I want the Chiefs to win. I'm sick of Josh Allen and the Bills.
Josh Allen is such a Jekyll and Hyde type player.
Did you see what he did this week? He faked the slide on one run, and they let him go, and then he gained like 15 more yards. So the next time he got hit in the middle of the slide, and they threw a flag for it. Like, I think the referees should be like, okay, well, you faked it the last time. Like, I can't let the guys not tackle you now.
Play stupid games, get stupid prizes. I think Patrick Mahomes, his magic in the playoffs runs out. I don't think, has he ever not made it to AFC Championship?
I don't know. I think I saw a stat that said he's like 6-0. I think he's like almost 10-0 in the wild card in the divisional round. He's undefeated.
Yeah, so he never hasn't made it to AFC. I think this is the year that he runs out. This is not the best Chiefs team that they put out, and it's away. I don't think this is the first time they played division away. So I think the Bills finally ranked there, as much as I hate to say it.
Well, I got the Chiefs. And that is your Boot to the Face show. Don't forget, we are on Podbean now. The link will be posted out when the episode is posted. Follow us on YouTube. Pay attention on YouTube. We will have a live pre-show before the Royal Rumble. And until next week, for EJ, I'm Rucker. This has been Boot to the Face. Peace.
Got it bumping. Leg drop, boot to the face, we won't fold. Quick to put a dude.